Hello, everyone. Okay, so we have learned about genotypes and phenotypes now and their definitions. So now we're going to go more in detail. Well, how does a gene, just a genotype, result in what we can physically see, which is phenotype, or physical characteristics, that phenotype? We're going to start off by me explaining a not real scenario, but it'll help you get the idea a little better. Well, like let's say we want to make a cupcake. And this cupcake, of course, is going to be part of a collection where there's donuts and all that good stuff around. To make that cupcake, well, let's say we need a recipe, which is going to be our DNA. And that DNA in that recipe is going to be in a cookbook. But this cookbook is very important, right? It's traditional. Your grandma gave it to you, your grandpa. So you have to reserve it, right? You cannot have that cookbook, that very important cookbook, in your kitchen. So instead, in order for you to make that cupcake and take the recipe to your kitchen, you're going to make a copy of that cookbook and that page that you necessarily need to take to your kitchen, right? So instead, you have this cookbook, which would be your DNA, this very precious cookbook, but you cannot use that cookbook, right? You're going to use a copy of the recipe that is in that cookbook, which would be your RNA. Then you would go ahead and follow the instructions to make that protein, will ultimately be your cupcake. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I'm going to go ahead and show you a diagram. This diagram is only going to include the words DNA, RNA, and protein, and along with other words that'll help you connect the idea of the genotype to the phenotype. Again, this diagram is going to look a little scary, but it's okay. These are all terms that we are going to be using throughout the next few lessons. So now, the question was, how do we get from our genotype to that phenotype, to that physical trait that we can see? Well, of course, we do it through the DNA that gets transferred and read and copied into RNA, and then it gets made into that protein. Well, what is DNA? What is RNA? And what is protein? We're going to get into that in the next few slides. And again, don't get scared of all the terms you're hearing today. These are all terms we're going to continue using throughout the whole unit. So today is mainly giving you like an intro on all these words.